Bad weather is back, finally. With no expectations today, I grabbed my Fujifilm x10 and I'm gonna go around the neighborhood and try to get some images. Summer is over in Norway and I love this kind of weather. Tommy Nordpole, life in Norway. Because I like to edit my images after I take them, I like the flat colors from these overcast days. So I don't have any hard shadows and lights. I have like a little bit more uniform flat images. And I can play around with blacks and whites and give it a feel that I want to have on these photographs. Let's take some photographs today and maybe we're gonna get something interesting. And then I can explain better what I mean. As most of the times for these little photo walks, I'm gonna take my Fujifilm x10 with me. And today I'm gonna choose the black and white setting to get the feel of this nostalgic, rainy and little bit foggy environment. So many people, and I was one of them as well, who see the rainy, cloudy weather outside and who are like, no, this is not a day to take a camera and go to shoot. But the beginning of the year, of this year, when I started this channel, taught me something completely opposite. There was a lot of overcast days and cloudy days in Norway in the beginning of the year. But anyway, I was so happy that I can finally go outside and take some photos that I did. And some of my best photos are coming from that period. If you want to see that, you can see some previous episodes. And after beautiful summer, here we are again. In autumn, we have a lot of sunny days as well, but once in a while, especially in the mornings looks like that. Let's try to take the best out of it. Let's try to make it interesting. For start, I like to go to the sculpture park that is around my neighborhood. And then I take few warm-up shots. If you are not used to photograph people, sculpture park like that, like this one over here on my neighborhood, or the bigger one, the Vigelands Park in Oslo, are a perfect place to practice photographing human shapes in different poses, in different moods. It's a good practice, and sometimes when you are creative you can get some interesting images as well. Inspiration usually finds me working, so like before I start to take any photographs, I don't feel like taking any photographs, but when I start, I cannot stop. So you see, in a day like that, we don't have any light, any shadows. We just have like the flat surroundings. There's no shadows on anything, but there is much more details on everything. So each photograph you take, if you plan to do some editing with it, it's gonna be much more flexible, almost like you take a raw image and kind of recover some details and just play with it, like you do the painting kind of. This kind of weather is also great for the macro photography. Sometimes you can find an object that is not that much interesting, but then you can approach it from different direction or get very close to it or very far, and you can totally give it a different view than normally you see with your eyes. Instead of taking like a Google Street photo, you can be a little bit creative with it. Let's check what the button men see. Not much, because he have tree in front of him. People walking their dogs, going to work. It's a quiet Friday morning. I'm also gonna have to go to work later. Best photography, creative photography or street photography days I have when I go out with any expectations. I just drop my camera into the backpack, and then as I see something and I start to take photos, maybe one or two gonna be good in the end. Or they're just gonna end up on some hard drive. Or maybe I'm gonna share it on my Instagram that you can check over here. Maybe there's one or two good photographs. Let's move to the neighborhood. Maybe we can photograph something more today. I tell myself many times to stop taking boring photos that I'm never gonna post anywhere. But this is just practice. This is a joy of taking a photograph, even if you're not gonna do anything with it. If you're just gonna wait for the best photographs, you're maybe gonna miss it. but I shoot whatever I find interesting and later I sort it out. That's like from many images I can select few that I'm really happy with, and most of the time if you know you took a good image, you know it right away. Over the years I did many types of photography. Lately, street photography, or my attempt at street photography. But I like to photograph macro, details, urban landscapes, a lot of photographs that are from many different backgrounds, many different parts of my photographic adventure. If you like this kind of videos, maybe you can subscribe to this channel and follow my adventure, or see some other videos that I have as well. Everyone got their own photographic journey, photography adventure. The most important is like, don't let your camera sit in your drawer. Pick it up, go outside and take some images. You're gonna see how good it is for you. It's like a little meditation, going around the city and taking some photographs. And even in a quiet Norwegian neighborhood like that, you might find something interesting once in a while. I don't shoot only black and white images. I opened up so much to the colors over this year. But still, on a day like that, I feel it's more accurate to use the black and white setting on my camera to take some images. Some days you might not find anything interesting to photograph, or maybe it's not interesting for you. But the whole process of doing something different, for example, I work a full-time job that is quite demanding, and this kind of hobby, this kind of passion with photography keeps me sane sometimes, because it gives me something outside of my usual day. Even if I have to work in the second part of the day, this like few hours in the morning give me like new perspective, give me like fresh start, free my head from everyday duties. Some of my images are also like documenting the place I live in, Norway, this small neighborhood, and some other part of Oslo as well. Like few years ago, this area, Åkeren and Loren, there was not much over here. Today, you have a quite new neighborhood with thousands of people living over here. This shows how Oslo is changing, how it's growing. Every piece of land that's available for the constructions, it's here. It's going all around this neighborhood. Sometimes I ask myself why I don't take all these images with my phone. And for me, it's like this little camera inspires me a little bit to have a different approach to the photography. It's like the phone, it's a tool, you have it in your pocket. It takes great images most of the time. But with this, I can just focus on the photography. Don't check the Instagram, don't check the Facebook or anything else. Just pure photography. Simple. There's a lot of settings on this camera. It's a modern camera, not gonna lie. But still, it comes down just to the photos and photography. And making these videos for you. And for myself. As you see, a lot of constructions over here. But Norway is very good in incorporating the green areas with the neighborhood areas. So even if it's like a big new neighborhood, you're gonna see there's a lot of green around. Maybe not in this particular spot, but there's usually trees, parks, sometimes small rivers going through the neighborhoods. I really enjoy these double reflections when you can see through the window, but you also see the reflection of the neighborhood. Any good photographs today? I don't know, but I enjoyed every moment of it. I guess the point of this video, besides being just entertainment for me, an exercise to walk around and talk a little bit about photography, about me, about this camera, it's to say like, you don't need the best weather, you don't need another excuse, you don't need the best gear, you just need to go out and enjoy yourself with the camera. And if you're gonna get some interesting images, that's it. Now it's time to go to work. Okay guys, that's it for now. In the meantime, you can see some other videos over here, or maybe over here. like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want more content like that, and see you in the next one. Some days the bad weather gives you the best results. This is not one of these days.